recording. Okay, in the pivot table, while we create the pivot table, we needed some range. We need a data that for that we like this is the range we get, and what you just select the range, and you do not need to select the range. You just click, and then you will go insert, and insert you go the pivot table, and it generates. And whatever the field you want, you need to do it accordingly, whether it is filter, column, value, or rows. Correct? Yes. The same thing we will apply, we will do with the coding. Moving to the next, like I'll just delete this. I do not need this. I'll delete. I'll start with the coding section. If you see, I'll start with the coding section. In the coding, first we start with the declaration of a variable. If you see, if you observe what I mentioned, that P sheet, I'm just given the name. Okay, P sheet means the pivot sheet. Okay, pivot sheet as a worksheet. D sheet, that is data sheet as a worksheet, and P cache. P cache is like a shape object. It's an object. Okay, that is the this is called the P cache. P cache is like, just a second. This is called a P cache. Okay, this is called a P cache. This is called pivot table field. Okay, this is called pivot table field, and this is called P cache. And when the table generates, that is called pivot table. Okay. So moving with that, I'm just deleting this. Okay. So it's a then we have declared the object P cache as a pivot cache, P table as a pivot table, that is also our object. This 4 is our object, and the P range, that is also our object. Correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And Jennifer, in case if you don't know anything, you just like something is getting bound, just let me know. Yeah.
Sure.
Okay. So these are our range. And if you are aware of, we already discussed, then if there is an object, we need to set that object. Okay, whether it is range, whether it is worksheet, workbook, or anything, we need to set that like we need to give a name that what exactly it is. So if you see here, first then if you see declare the variable last row and last column. Okay, as a long. Why a long? Because the data can be more than 30,000 or something like that in 1,000 row or something. In a pivot table, you know that there is a huge amount of data. On the base of that, we have taken as a long instead of integer or something like that. If you see integer data type, its size is only 32,000 or something. Okay, so it doesn't require. Moving with the next, here what is like I have written application.display alert, like whatever the fluctuation happens, like suppose if you delete the sheet, it will give you a pop-up. If you delete, like it will permanent delete, something like that, whether you want to delete or not, something, whatever the pop-ups comes, it will not comes if you write the application, if you write application.display alert is equal to false. Okay. Same thing. The second written, it has option worksheet pivot table dot delete. So here we have instructed, if you see here, what is the first sheet name? That is called the pivot table. So as of now, there is nothing. So I'm just instructing that please delete that sheet. Okay. After deletion that sheet dot add before active sheet. That is means if this delete, this will be the active sheet. Correct?
Yeah.
So what I said, sheet dot add before active sheet. That means sheet need to add before this sheet, like this, and its name should be a pivot table.
Okay. So we are just deleting the existing one and creating a new one.
Correct. Why? Because it's already been created. Like suppose if you create the macro at that time, suppose if you create the macro, as of now it's blank. Okay, again, like what do you need to do? You just need to copy those sales data, whatever the data you have. On the base of that, then the whatever the already present, that's supposed to be deleted. Correct?
Yeah.
again. So that's why we need to delete that pivot table and recreate the another one, or else if we give the name of a pivot table, the macro will get confused with the same name, the sheet name, two sheet, like two name with a two sheet, single name with a two sheets. So
Yes.
the macro gets stuck with the error, it will not work. Now what? Now I have declared, like I have set the object. What said? Worksheet pivot table, that's mean this sheet is equal to P sheet, and sales data, this means I'll say sales data.
Okay.
I'll say sales, correct? Sales data. Sales data is equal to D sheet. So entire this worksheet pivot table will represent the P sheet. That's mean P sheet represent this, and D sheet represent this. Okay. So that's mean we have given the name to this sheet. Pivot sheet means P sheet. That's why we have, that is,
we are assigning the value for the object.
Yeah, it's, we are setting the object. This is not assigning. Assigning, assigning, like also what is the assigning? When we assign the value, if you see here, this is the value, the last row and last column. When you get the value, here you are setting the object. Here you are not getting any value. Here you are setting the object. That's mean here you are, like suppose the here you are providing that sheet, the pivot table is equal to P sheet, and sheet sales data is equal to D sheet. That's mean you are just giving a name as a data sheet and a pivot sheet. Okay. Moving with next. Now I want to select the last row and last column. Okay. So what is the formula? Like suppose if we, there are many formula, like suppose as of now, we need to find the last row and last column into the D sheet. That is our sales data, not here. Okay. So we will mention the D sheet. So D sheet dot cells rows dot count. So column 1. Okay. So if you see rows dot count, so entire row, what is the row loss count? So if you see, just go down, the column 1 row dot count will be the 1048576. This is the total count of like column 1048. And what I want to do, I want to end xlf dot row. That means I want to go up, control shift up. So whatever the row comes, that is 2156, that is my last row, correct?
Yeah.
So this is how we found, like we have found the last row. Same with this is we go right, excel right here. This is my, here if you say excel left, why it is excel left? Because it has, what it has done, it has count the last column, it has gone to the last column here, and then it has created the excel left. So whatever it comes, it has selected it. If you go from right to left, okay, if you go from right to left, then it comes. And however, just to focus that what it has written, if you see rows dot count, if you write down the rows dot count, so it will come the and rows, correct? And if you are in and, so you are going up, okay, into row. And in the column, if you going to the end of the column, suppose if you are going, suppose, it's left, exactly. Suppose, like I'm just giving an example, this is my first row, first column, if I go to the right, also I will be able to find the last column. However, just imagine, in case if here is a blank, okay, here is blank, and here is the column with the value. So what it does, so it will show the wrong value, like here is data, however it will show the last column. So better to find the, like from right to left we need to go. So whatever the end column, it will show. Okay. Always use from up to row and the left, excel to left and up, to find the better range, else you will find the issue. Like suppose same with the row, in case if you go to the down, just a second, now if I see in the down, okay, I am having a value, I'll just copy this. I am having a value. My value is until 2163, correct? And if you go from instead of up dot row, you will go excel dot down. So it will show 2156 and it will leave this all range, whatever the data there is. Just due to blank. So always go, like we always make some practice to do with Excel up to row.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Next. Now so we have found the row. Row will be in the numeric, column will be in the numerics. Then we have here we have assigned the value that whatever the row comes, please keep into the last row. Whatever the column comes, please into the last column. Okay. Again, we need to set the range. What does range means? Here, if you see D sheet dot cell 1,1, that's mean dot cell 1,1. If cell 1,1, what does mean? Cell 1, that is row, and comma 1, that is column 1, that is row 1, column 1. That's mean A1, correct?
Yeah.
And
but
yeah, please.
But you told us, sir, it always starts with 0. It's only for array.
Sorry, please.
So, once you explain the array concept, you told that it always starts with 0, 0, 1, 2, like but that. It's for array.
Array, but it's not an array. Where it is?
No, it's only for array.
It's only for array. When array is totally different. Okay, this is called cell referencing. This is called cell referencing. While doing the cell referencing, we are giving the address. Suppose if you see what is the cell 1,2. Just give me the value of 1,2.
1,
row number 1 and column number 2. 1,2. What is the value of 1,2?
1 second, sir. Row 1, column 2. First name.
Great. That's easy. So you just need to go through, like, this is my column, this is my row. What is the intersection of that? Camario. Okay. Row number 8, column number 5. What is this? Camario. And you always need to watch the intersection of that. Where these column and rows getting intersection, that is the value I want to know. Okay. So that is called cell I comma. This is called cell referencing. This one is equal to row, and this one is equal to column. Okay. I'll give you. This is the systematic. I'll give you the another syntax in the easiest way. I am setting the range. I'll just like it is in. I am setting the range. If you see, whenever you set the range, you always should be write the range. That range, I'll say range bracket. This should be written into bracket. If you see range, what is asking? Cell 1, cell 2 as a range. Okay. So I'll just once you have opened the bracket, you need to close this bracket, correct? And instead of cell dot 1, I'll just delete, I'll address. Okay. And then I'll concatenate where it is. Okay, and then I'll concatenate with cell with last row comma call dot address. So if you see, what does that means? That means cell 1,1 dot address, that is first this 1,1 dot address, and what is this? Until last row and last column. So cell, that is from cell 1,1 to cell last row comma last column. So last row comma last column. So our entire range will be selected. So if you see when our cell address will generate, you will be able to see that A1 comma the L2156. Okay,
Okay.
2156
Okay.
L. That will later you, I will let you know. Let's start with this and then I'll start with the pivot once we will done with this. Okay, let's start.
Okay.
Okay, let's start P8. Okay, here I'm not able to run. Okay, yeah, the brightness, I need to use a function key. I need to okay, now you see. Okay, if you see the worksheet deleted here, the power sheet, correct?
Yeah.
Now active it I'll just go through this. Now what is this? Sheet dot act before active sheet. Arey yaar.
Right.
Okay, added.
Yeah, it's add a new sheet, and then the sheet name changed into pivot table.
Okay, now you see. Now if you see, it has, if you just ask in the immediate window, what is the p sheet dot name? Ask question p sheet dot name. What is the p sheet dot name? So it will say pivot table. Okay,
Okay. Okay, sir.
because we have here we have a setting the object. That's why. Now,
Okay.
now what is the last row? 2156, correct?
Yeah.
What is the last call? 12.
12.
The range, if you see, the range we are setting. Just see, we are setting the range. Range cell, comma cell, whatever we had mentioned. If you see, I will ask what is p range dot address. I'll ask p range dot address. Okay, that is A1. If you see what is saying, what we had discussed earlier, A1 L2156, correct?
Yeah.
So as we like, if you do the previous one, this is
But the
also
address of the cell will display within dollar symbol.
yeah, exactly.
Okay, okay.
Dollar, why dollar? Because we have given the range. If you see here, we have given the range that you should not move with beyond that. Last row and last column we have given. That's why.
Okay, okay.
Okay, and range itself come into the dollar because we have mentioned as an
Okay.
address. If you see here, what is the address? So it will show you like this.
Okay.
Now what? Now I said on the, if you see here, we have object like this was our object, worksheet done, range done. These two worksheet done, range done. Now the turn comes for a p pivot cache and pivot table, correct? This is also
Yeah.
our object. This is also our object. And now we are setting the object, that is p cache, what I like show you earlier. If you see where I want to say, this is what is saying active workbook dot pivot cache dot create, ignore this Excel database and just see source data. Source data means the range, that is called p range, correct? This p range,
Yeah.
p range means the A1 L2156 of sales
Yeah.
data, correct?
Yes, sir.
So we have given the range. We have given range, and we have give where I want. I want on a P sheet 212. So in this 2,2 here it should be reflect. Okay, and with the
Okay.
table name should be the cell pivot table. Okay, if you
Okay.
see, we'll just go through with that. Just go through. Now our pivot cache has been generated. Okay,
Okay.
now what I want. Now what I want, I'll say, now I will set the, as I have set the p cache, that is pivot cache. Now I will set the pivot table as a p table. So
Okay.
whatever p cache is representing entire this, correct?
Yeah.
That is called our pivot cache. And pivot cache dot create table. This is the syntax. pivot कैसे dot create table and table destination is p sheet 1, 1 table name is equal to cells pivot table. That's mean here I need to create table and table name should be sales pivot table on the p sheet. Correct?
Yeah.
Let's start. Okay, it will create. Now what data I want into the row? If you see, go to this, what I want, just look into this. I want to row first name. I'll copy this. I will just paste it. Just a second. Let me do it again. I need to first name. I will keep into the month first name, and then I want the company. No, I'll ask company name first into the row. Then product name. This is first I mentioned product name in the first position, like
Yeah.
which you do over here. Like suppose this is the example. Let me tell you. Like this is my row. Suppose you have given. I'm saying first I'll give the name. Oh, sorry, company name. Where is company name? I'll give the company name. Company name comes, and then I'll give where it is product name.
Product name.
Like like below the company name, I will give the product name. Okay. Now the name, where is name? I will give name into the column. Okay. And
Okay.
I will give the unit price. I'll give into the value. So this kind of data supposed to be come, correct?
Yeah.
So if you see what I have done, I have mentioned product name, company name, and now in the column I want what I said, name, correct?
Yeah.
What was the name?
First name.
First name.
First name. In uppercase.
What a focus. Gajab. And into the field value will mention the unit price, correct?
Yeah.
Unit price. Now it's done. And whatever function you want average, sum, count, whatever. I'll say just instead of sum, I'll just write down count. Okay.
Okay.
And this is the format. Let's start. Let's do it. I'll do until creation of pivot table, and then we'll start with this. It's already been created. It will delete it. If you see, it has deleted it. Okay. Now I'll say, Vaisa, please go to, you just go, first the product name comes, then company name comes, then what?
Yeah.
I want in a column first name, correct?
Yeah.
Now what? I want the value.
Unit price value.
Correct? In a count. Earlier it was in sum.
Yeah.
Now I have mentioned in a count, that's why it came. And I want to format the table cell. This is my style. You can change anything. Okay, you will get this style, you will option.
Okay.
If you just see, it has been changed, correct?
Yeah, great.
This is how you can able to, instead of that, again, like whatever the data comes in front of you on the base of that, you can convert these things into the great pivot table of that. You do not need to create every time all those like a daily routine tasks. You just need to create a macro and all those things like happen in a quickest way. Okay,
Yeah.
so this is for while we are this as of like we do not have much student, that's why I'm just done with the power table. And from tomorrow I will start the